working. What up, Underworld?
We are back.
We told you we'd be back with a banger.
Ooh.
You guys have no idea what these next couple months have in store for you.
We have a lot planned for March and April.
A lot.
I'm looking at our calendar right now, and we are booked all the way up until the 26th of April.
Yes. We will be making a video very soon of a couple of interviews that we got coming. Did you think we've been making them hold for a good month or so? Should we tell them the next couple ones?
No.
We should at least tell them one.
Which one?
One? Next week's?
Next week.
All right. Before we tell you who we got in store this week, next week, ooh, I've been waiting for this one for a long, long time.
We have.
We've been talking to a good buddy named Copperhead. He's been working as a tour guide, and he's been in this location for almost 20 years, I think he said. But next week, we talked to a tour guide from Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. Yeah.
Cue music.
I can't wait.
In.
Yeah, I don't have music, sorry. Yeah, whoa. There you go. There's your music. But here's our guest this week.
That's right. You read that right. There is actually a viewer discretion advised for this week's video because of the topics that we will be talking about this week.
The content that we will be talking about this week is not our normal.
It's going to be a little dark this week, but you know, you guys know we like to keep it real, keep the history real, and keep it to the place.
Yes.
But because of some of the topics that are in this video, mind you, children and anyone under 18.
But I do like a post that I saw on Facebook the other day. We're not chasing ghosts. We're chasing history.
Yep.
And this is the history of the Goatman's Bridge, which we'll be talking to our very good friend, Beck.
You guys might actually recognize her because she is a returning guest.
She is on our haunted house season.
Yes.
She's the owner of the 1889 Bolton House. I think I got that right.
But let's bring her on and see if we are correct.
Are we correct?
Hi, guys.
Did I get that right?
It's 1899. You were very close, Chris.
I was close. Hi, Becky. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Good. It's been so while. I think it's been like 7-8 months since we talked last.
Yeah. I'm excited to be a part of your dark side of stuff your viewers are going to see the next month or so.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be our darkest episode that we've done with the dark history.
Yeah. We're going to start getting into a little darker here. There a couple months.
Well, we've had like 1 or 2 episodes where the topics aren't that light, but this is probably going to be our darkest history so far.
Yeah.
And you're actually leading us into the darker.
Let's go.
we go dark to darker to darker.
Yep.
Yeah.
From this point on in this season, viewers be warned, we're not doing it light and happy and like our normal show.
But things have changed, like we told you a couple weeks ago. We are officially part of the Paranormal 24/7 streaming service now.
Yeah.
We're on Roku, we're on Amazon Fire, we are on Google Play, and we're on paranormal247.com.
It wouldn't be possible without
my friend Alice.
Our friend Alice, who put all of this together.
And our buddy Paul.
Her buddy Paul, her whole team who's working on making this possible, and most importantly, all our fans who are watching.
This is what everything we're on. So we do have 2 episodes up there. I
on
think
more.
next week, just because we are talking to you, Becky, I think next week we're going to put the Bolton house up.
Woo.
Oh, look at you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Now, everybody, sit back.
Our welcoming
get dark.
Is open. Turn your lights off.
I'm nervous now.
Get creepy. All right. So, Goatman's Bridge. From the story that I know, Sarah doesn't really. You know a little bit about the bridge from the research we've done.
Why don't we have Becky?
Oh, yeah.
Explain it. This is her place.
All right, Beck.
So let's
tell us about the Goatman's Bridge.
Oh, it's a dark, dark place. I know you talked about the Bolton house, and it is more friendly oriented. And then you have a complete turnaround when you go down to Goatman's Bridge.
Yeah.
It has murder. It has satanic worship. It has suicides. People go missing. You guys, it is a very, very dark place.
So the story that I know, back in 1938, I think it was, there was a local man of African American stance. He was a goat farmer, and he put a sign on the Alton Bridge saying "Goat man this way." Unfortunately, back in those days in Texas, there was the KKK, which didn't really like that sign being up there, and
they didn't like the fact that he was a successful business owner who was black.
Yeah. So they came and got him from his house, dragged him to the bridge, lynched him, came back to the bridge, and his body was no longer there. The rope was there, but the body was not. So they went back to the house, killed his whole family, and that's pretty much all the story that I know. And if you supposedly, when you were able to drive on this bridge, if you go to the other side of the bridge and turn your headlights off, you're supposed to be able to see a figure of the Goatman coming to, coming to like warn you to get off the bridge, or is it?
No, he's coming for your soul.
Oh, what if you don't have a soul?
Then he's out of luck.
I soul did not go off.
Yeah, that is all very true. Everything that you just said. When I was writing the book, I interviewed several people that had grown up in the area and talked about remembering being in high school or whenever, driving across the bridge and turning their lights off, and the things that they would recount to me, of what they saw and what they experienced. Y'all, it was terrifying to them in the day. So I think whatever they saw, there's something there. There's something there that has definitely, with every legend is a little bit of truth, right? And so I think it has just gotten stronger and stronger. And yes, you're correct. We can't drive across the bridge now, but that doesn't make it any less, I don't know, inviting to people who are curious and want to see Goatman.
You can't drive across it, but you can still walk across it, right?
Yes. Yep. That's right, Sarah.
I mean, I'd rather be. I'm the crazy one. I like testing things, so I'd probably be in the middle of the bridge by myself. Okay. But that's just how I am. But I couldn't even imagine seeing half goat, half man running at me.
Yeah.
No,
you're a lot braver than
I am.
We all know this.
So how do I didn't mention that you're a tour guide for the Goatman's Bridge. How do you get into that?
Well, being a researcher, a paranormal researcher, years and years ago, I used to go down because I never knew about this bridge. It's in my area, and then I started hearing rumors about, well, have you been to Goatman's Bridge? And I'm like, where is this place? And started going down there, and things were just going on. Just me, like me walking through the woods, I'd hear things, I'd think I see things. And so just started right there. I kind of became obsessed with the bridge and what is down here, and like what is the story of the old town that was really there, and all of the stuff involving the KKK and all of this. um and so my friends just eventually all started wanting to come down and see what was going on. And so, it just got to be so many people and bigger that I decided, you know what, I think I'm going to do tours and let people know about the history and the historical factor, even though it's not good and it's not a fun subject to talk about. It is factual. And
Honestly, I think you should talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, people forget.
that's right.
And it's basically just putting it under the rug for history to be forgotten of what actually happened. Like, you have to remember the dark in order to remember correctly.
Exactly. It doesn't mean in any form or fashion that we agree with what happened in the past.
Oh,
In no way.
absolutely. No
We've
way.
moved past that and we know it. We're not what we used to be, but it still has to be told, or else it's gonna be forgotten, and that's not like it's never happened if it's never spoken about.
Well,
I wonder.
and
Oh, go ahead.
if you're gonna tell a story, don't just tell part of the story, good or bad. People need to know the whole story. And
history is history.
History is history. And unfortunately, the KKK was really prevalent back in the day when Oscar was there, an African American guy. And even today, y'all, it is still a thing.
Yeah.
Even in modern times and how far we've come with diversity and all of these sort of things, it's not gone.
No.
I wish it was, but it is still in the background.
It is.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, agreed.
But yeah, they so where the bridge is, was there, like you said, there was like a whole town and everything. So is it like a ghost town on the other side of this bridge, or is it just nature took over again?
Basically, nature takes over. There actually was a town called Alton, and it had a hotel, a saloon, a blacksmith. It wasn't just a super big town, but it was built along a creek bed, and the water was very toxic. It was stagnant. It didn't flow. It didn't have a good runoff. So they ended up having to move to a different location. So they kind of abandoned the town. But guys, it was built on pier and beam, right? So it was wood and all of this sort of stuff. And they were able to move some of the buildings, but not all of them. They just eventually fell down. There's no remnants now of the town whatsoever.
Got you. Is there like an old road that goes through it, or
you can get to it. It's kind of difficult, but because it is so overgrown and everything. But yeah, there's a small horse trail where they bring horses down sometimes, and you can ride back in there. I took a metal detector back down where I believe the location is, trying to find it on the census reports. And I didn't find anything other than some old nails. I did find some old bullets, but past that, there's really just not, like Chris, you said it really well. Nature takes over. A lot of flooding washes away any of the wood that might have remained and stuff like that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but those big wooded areas that they clear out, those woods are going to take back over when there's no activity to take anything down.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
When you walking through this bridge, I showed a couple pictures of the bridge.
Yeah.
But the whole trail to this bridge, you're literally walking through woods.
Yes.
To get to this. Now, do you see? I'm really picky on orbs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had pictures like too, and I was like, I don't know what those are, but if that looks like a cemetery.
It
Is there a
is.
cemetery on the way to the
There's
bridge?
a there is a cemetery that is within walking distance, and it's the Old Alton Cemetery, where a
Oh,
lot of the spirits that we encountered, again, that were actual living, breathing people in history, are buried.
wow. Is Oscar buried there?
Oscar is not buried there.
Did they
Being
ever did they ever find a body?
They did not. They did not.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, they did not. Again, like you said, just when the Klan came back to retrieve the body, there wasn't anything there but a noose. So,
Wow.
it's just your imagination of what happened, or if somebody cut him loose. Um, from what I have found out, was the Klan instantly thought that he would run to his family if some way he got loose, and he would
Right.
be at the family home. So they immediately went there, burnt the house down, all of this. But Oscar wasn't there, and
Wow.
he's never, no body has ever been recovered or anything like that.
I couldn't even imagine that somebody coming to rip my father away from it and fear of them coming back, and they actually come back
Because
and make it worse. I'm like,
Right.
just, I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
just because the color of your skin.
Exactly.
I
It's a
don't.
sad. It's a sad
I've never
story.
understood it, like, ever. Like, some of my best friends growing up were black.
I
Like,
know.
we're not raised that way. I'm glad we weren't,
Yeah.
because
Me
I could
neither.
never, ever, ever imagine thinking of something like that. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Just because
but
and he was really, Oscar was very well known in the community,
right,
um, and very well liked. He had a good rapport with the citizens of Alton.
yeah,
Um, and to think that just because his skin color was different, that that means you can't stay in our community, you can't be successful. What it means is we're going to take your life. That's
yeah,
insane. It's
yeah.
insane.
The biggest "how dare you" in history.
Exactly right.
Now I want to get into a couple video or photos that we have of some activity that we have at the bridge.
Okay.
I want to get into, like, the devil worshiping and everything here in a second, but this kind of goes hand in hand with the rituals that people do down there.
Yeah.
You said that you've been walking through the woods to go to the bridge, and you see remnants of people doing rituals. Is
All the
that a
time.
common thing when you walk down there?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is one of the creepiest nights ever. We had a tour group. It was a small tour group, and this where these photos are taken. I took these photos. It's very low. It's in a kind of a very low where the water gathers a lot. But we've been told by our psychics that this is where the sayer, which is half man and half goat, it's a creature from you know hundreds and thousands of years ago, was
Yeah,
called in. It was summoned from this area. And what you're looking at is we were going down to this area, and those photos they're blown up really big, and they're of Jesus and the Virgin Mary, and they had the white tarps, and of course there's red paint splattered all over them. It wasn't blood, but most definitely I feel it was supposed to represent blood being
right,
thrown
right.
at the Jesus, at God, and the Virgin Mary. Creepy, creepy stuff.
Now, you see any of that? Have you seen anything like animals or
Mm-hmm.
any
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice type
Yes.
stuff?
There was one night I was walking by myself because I like to go down because it's in nature, right? So the branches fall and this and that,
Right.
to make sure that where I'm taking the guest is clear, so nobody trips or whatever. And one night I was going by myself before the group got there, and there was a pentagram drawn, and on one side of it was the carcass of a squirrel. It was just the skin,
Wow.
Oh.
and there was still burning a candle in the center of the pentagram. And y'all, it had been mutilated, and all of the insides taken out and were on the outer side of the pentagram.
Oh.
Wow.
I was scared to death. Had no idea what the hell that could mean. I
Right.
I know you guys know. It's all about intention, right? What is the
Right.
Yeah.
intention? So all I did was blow out the candle because it's in the woods. We should not be having fire. And
Absolutely.
I left it alone. Quite honestly, I didn't touch it. I didn't move it. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
And this is why we have the viewer discretion.
This is why we
Yeah.
have viewer discretion.
Yeah. Good
And, like,
idea.
I just some of the photos that you have here, like, so we have the story of the Goatman hanging, which we all know can start a haunting right then and there just from the what happened there.
Right.
And then you have the devil worshiping, and then
Yeah.
you have satanic rituals happening. Of course, it's going to be a haunted woods.
Yeah.
And we have figures like this.
Yes. Okay. That is down in the trail. And as you can see to the right, there is a shadow person, a figure. And it's really hard to make out what that is. But definitely there was something. And I probably took that picture because I heard something or felt something. But
Yeah.
I like that shot. It's definitely shows that you're not alone.
Yeah. That's crazy. I try not to look at any of these pictures until the show. So it's a blind reaction.
And I don't pay attention until the show.
Yeah, this is a blind reaction. The whole show is a blind reaction to Sarah every week.
I just tell him if he spells it right.
Sarah, you keep him in line.
I do.
Have you seen stuff like this with your own eye, like white figures on the bridge?
Yes. Yeah. There is actually a place in the bridge or an area in the woods that it is very, very common to see. I describe them as white bouncing balls, like bright orbs.
Yeah.
But what this really, truly is it is residual energy, has nothing to do with orbs, really. It's just residual energy. Unfortunately, again, the dark history of the lanterns that the KKK would bring through the woods as they would go to the bridge. So
now, you said there's suicides on the bridge.
Yes.
Like hangings or people jumping off the bridge, or what kind of?
Well, the story that I can tell you about that came from a firsthand experience from a young boy that experienced it was Mr. Thompson. He does the cemetery that's by the bridge, the Old Alton Cemetery. Y'all, he has the most amazing historical books on the area of when the town was Alton, before the cemetery got going, who donated the land, and all of this sort of stuff. But I interviewed him for the book, and he gave me so much information. But one of the stories that he told me, that he was about 10 years old, and you guys, Chris, you were showing where the bridge is. Well, on both sides of the bridge was just a dirt road. There was no, yeah. So on both ends of that bridge, you would have to honk because it is only one lane. It can only there's no passing. So you have to make sure there's only one car at a time. But he was relaying the story that him and his buddies were coming down the dirt road with cane pose. I'm going to tell my age here, like with Andy Griffith. You guys know the beginning of that with Andy and Opie and the cane pose. He said it was just like that. And they were headed down to go fishing, and this car pulled up in a blue, I'm sorry, y'all, I don't know if it was a Chevrolet. I don't know cars. I can't recall what he told me, but it was blue. I do remember him saying that. And the guy rolled down his window because it was so old and so bad.
Yeah.
You know, he was 10 years. I don't know how old he is, Mr. Colbert now. Maybe, oh, I got to say 80s. But the young man rolled down his window and asked the boys, what are you guys doing? And they said, "Oh, we're going to go fishing down at the bridge." And Tommy said that the guy never said another word and just said okay and rolled up the window and went on. And he said in about 10 minutes they heard a gunshot. He said, "We're young boys, and back in the day, you heard a gunshot. Somebody shot a snake or a
Yeah.
coyote or something like
Right.
that, right?"
Right.
So they're running to the bridge, find out, what happened, who got what. And this young man had pulled to the center of the bridge and committed suicide. And Tommy
Wow.
said, as a 10-year-old boy, he was hanging out of the car, of course, a gunshot to the head, blood everywhere. And he said they were just freaking out. They had never seen anything like this before, whatever. So as the police came and Tommy and his friends were there, that later there came a newspaper article out, and there was absolutely no reason for this young man to commit suicide. He had no financial trouble. He didn't have relationship problems. Everything was great. He had a job. Like, there was just zero reason that they could explain why, just on a nice day, he would drive to the bridge of all places and commit
Yeah.
suicide.
Do you
So
think the bridge draw them in?
I do, y'all. I do. I think this is such a dark area that maybe if you are, I don't want to say weak,
Like
but
influences?
yeah, just maybe not you're at your best. Let me just put it like
Right.
that. Maybe you're distracted with life in some way, whatever. Maybe he wanted a better job. Maybe he wanted a girlfriend. I have no idea. But I think this bridge attracts people who maybe are at their weakest and more
Yeah.
unaware. And for whatever reason, they come here for it to be their last day on earth. I mean, it's something that happens there.
Yeah.
Now, you said you've become like obsessed with it. Do you think that it keeps drawing you in, like it's calling you back to come talk about it?
Sarah, that's a good question. I I
I don't
was
want to be.
thank you. That's the best answer. Um, it has gotten so dark, you guys, and not only with the spirit activity, but because of all the satanic worship, it has drawn to the location a different crowd of people. And
Yeah.
so, do I think the bridge still calls me? Absolutely. Do I
Hmm.
go? Not so much.
You should.
Yeah. I mean,
Not so
and
much.
you have figures like this,
Yeah. So
and
that was just taken out in the woods. It's kind of hard to see, but it's definitely something I perceived as horns.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna
could be goat horns.
we make our screen a little bigger
I'm
so we can
blind.
see.
That is a hard picture to see, but there is something definitely in the background to the right of the tree.
You
Well,
can
I
kind of
know
see a
you
shadow.
have. I've been really curious, like even before the show when I saw this, you pepped up a little bit. So tell me about this.
You think I pepped up? I put my guard up. That's what that was, Chris.
Oh, okay. It was
So,
something.
yeah. So to the right is Steve. That this is one of the most evil people I believe ever walked the earth. And yes, he was a
Oh,
living, breathing person. His name is Steve Curtison. And what this is a picture of is if you'll look to the left and focus on the orb, you can see a pudgy nose, a hairline in the back, his eyes, and the big pudgy cheeks, and even the dimple in his cheek. I do believe that this is Steve showing his presence here.
Now, who do you have a story about Steve or?
Yes, but probably not. I can't say everything on the air
Okay,
because of the rating, but he was the Grand Dragon of the KKK.
okay,
Very, very powerful man. Like, this is what people don't know about the sad and the dark part of history is people who were politically, uh, you know, believed to be good for the people and out there trying to do right by the people were involved in the Klan, right? All behind the scenes, all of this stuff
right,
is going on. And so Steve was really powerful, had a lot of connections. Um, I do believe that he had a hand. Do I believe he was at the bridge the night Oscar died? No. Do I believe he knew about it? What was going to happen? Absolutely,
absolutely.
I do.
He probably gave the okay.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. They're going to
Right,
need protection, right? If something goes down and they get caught, they're going to need some help. And this is where
right,
he stepped in. But long story short, he was married 3 times, or almost married 3 times. His third wife, he kidnapped, tried to insist that she marry him, and she wanted nothing to do with him because of his involvement with the Klan.
yeah,
So it didn't matter. He kidnapped her, and back in the day, um, the way to get around and commute quickly was trains, right? That's how
right,
you got around. And he kidnapped this poor woman named Madge, put her in a train cart, box cart, whatever you call those. I'm sorry, I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
the.
yeah. Close enough.
Thank you. So he put her in this box cart, personal box car, and was taking her to Chicago. And he beat her, he raped her. Y'all, he chewed off her breast, he
What?
chewed her inner thighs. So this
What?
lady suffered major abuse from this man, major abuse. So when she gets to Chicago, she convinces one of the bodyguards to take her to get some medication. She's in severe pain from all of this.
Yeah,
And she convinces a bodyguard to take her to a drugstore to get some medication. And he does, but she doesn't buy medication. She buys poison,
Oh.
cyanide,
oh,
and because she can't take another day of this abuse, so she takes the cyanide, and of course she's dying. And so the bodyguard realizes what she did. He tells Steve, the picture you just saw, hey, look, she's going to die. What are we going to do? And so he goes to her and he says, marry me and I'll take you to the hospital. And she says, no way. I refuse. I would rather die. Long story short, again, he goes ahead and does take her to the hospital. That she does die. There is actually on her death certificate, the doctor wrote cause of death, cannibalism, because
wow,
she was so chewed up and beaten from this man. And but before she passed away, she had the state of mind that she had a nurse write down in detail everything she had experienced, which I might add is like a 72-page document.
wow,
But
Wow.
so she does pass away. He does go to prison. And at his sentencing, y'all, if you can even imagine this type of man, because of his power, again, the power thing,
right,
when he gets a sentence, the judge makes a statement to be documented or whatever written down that he doesn't think Steve's a bad guy, just made
Wow.
some mistakes.
Wow.
What
wow,
the hell? How much more bad guy do you need?
yeah. Which is funny because when you mentioned that, the only thing I can think of is "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou."
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I can think of because like they had the whole clan meeting and like they
yes,
went to the town meeting and was like blah blah blah, blah we're good people and they're
exactly.
like well we're in a certain form of
Yeah.
secret something
Yeah.
but
And
yeah
you know
that's
what, Chris? That stuff really happened. You know,
Yeah.
all of these bankers and these business owners, you know, did all of this stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, that's like John Wayne Gacy. He was part of the community. He was part of the town hall people, and like, we're not going to get into that one. That's going to be a whole other
We'll have a whole different episode on
situation.
that.
Well, I could get into that for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think he has a part of the haunting of the bridge, or is he?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's there.
Oh, I do. I do. Um, my belief is spirits are free will, right? So they're
Yeah.
not tied strictly to a certain location. So
Right.
when people go to this bridge and they're opening up, you know, the veil and the door to the other side, and they're actually, even though they may say, you know, is Steve here? It's a summons, right? You're throwing that
Yeah.
into the universe. Hey,
Yeah.
we want to talk to Steve, the Grand Dragon of the clan. Well, I most certainly believe that he could come through at the bridge. When
Absolutely.
when he is there, no other spirit activity takes place. He's really dominant of that space. So I've experienced that a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then this is probably the clearest, most crazy picture I've ever seen that you have shown us. How did you even see this? Did
I have
you?
no idea. Isn't that like crazy?
It literally looks like we're gonna get. There's another photo of it going large, but like looking at it literally looks like there's just a skeleton sitting there,
See,
like a skull.
Well, to me, it looks like somebody, almost like a Wendigo. Honestly, how they have that, where they're hunched over and they have the deer skull.
Oh yeah,
that's what it looks like. The smaller one.
Yeah,
that's what that smaller one looks like. And then behind it is someone standing up with like a skull mask on.
right. You know
That's
what, y'all? It's
two
just
deer
so creepy
skulls.
down there when you get the feeling, you know, you guys know this from being paranormal investigators. Our greatest tool we have is our senses, right?
Oh, absolutely.
When you feel something behind you, turn around, take notice.
Right.
Yeah.
So down here at the bridge, it's just crazy because I may go down there on a Sunday and just walk the trails or whatever. And if I feel something or feel like, you know, something's watching me, I'll turn around and take a picture. And then, like you guys just saw, you get crazy, crazy stuff, and you're like, "Oh my God, I wasn't crazy. It wasn't my imagination. That really happened."
Yeah.
Are you cold?
A little. My air just kicked on.
Now, girl, you told me you like that air conditioner. What are you talking about?
No, I said I can't sleep without the air conditioner.
So you guys do tours and everything. Actually, I'm gonna put these right down here real quick. Sorry, where'd that one go?
What are you doing?
Obviously messing things up.
Yeah.
Chris.
All right, so you guys do tours and everything down at the bridge. Now, is that under BexGhostHunters.com?
It is, yes.
Yeah, it's right on the phone.
So there has been multiple people that have investigated this bridge. Some people that we can't speak of. Some people we can.
Some people we don't want
some
to.
people we really don't want to. You know, we're not going to say anything, but you can see who we're talking about on the top of that.
Yes.
But
not the ones in the middle.
Not the ones in the middle are the very.
names.
Oh man.
Yeah. The one to the left is I can tell y'all they had some serious experience go on that being a part of that whole experience, you know, filming and stuff, that I got to witness firsthand. So I know that some stuff went down the way that it showed. Not everything you see on TV is real.
Right.
Just keep that in the back of your mind. But most
Right.
definitely, you know, they had some experiences.
Now I'm trying to think of how to word this without. If you've seen this episode with the people to the left, now do people get touched and like thrown and like black out, end up in different areas of the bridge so they don't even know how they got to that area? Or
I can tell you that scratches are very, very common, especially for women. And there you go. Again, I want to say that I think that this has to do with Steve, the Grand Dragon, because he had such disrespect for women. I think they're
right.
a major target at the bridge. But scratching is very much a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely fine. That's definitely 3 scratches on her hip.
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And they're defined, right? They're definitely straight
absolutely.
across, you know.
Yeah. The middle one's definitely known, but the bottom one is kind of like maybe the fingertip or something.
Yeah, it looks like they spread their fingers out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like definitely scratching is a thing.
It looks like somebody was trying to grab them.
Yeah. And
maybe trying to grab and they try to like run or something and slid across or.
And again, the picture that you just saw was of a 16-year-old female. And I think that they are innocent, and naive in a bit. And so they're very easy target for Steve and a more powerful entity around the bridge. They make an easy target.
They haven't experienced anything yet
to
put that guard up.
Yes, exactly.
Paranormal virgin.
So
yes,
if you want anything merch-wise, there is shirts.
Yeah, I love my shirt.
That's a cool shirt. I want that as a shirt.
I know.
Okay, I'll send you guys a shirt.
We already told her. We already went over that one. I want one.
Thank you. Yeah.
We do. Like I said, you do tours. So beckghosthunting.com. Tell me about the tour.
Okay, so the tour is we do walk down. There you go. There's a bunch of people. We investigate. I bring some equipment with us so that people can have their own personal experiences. There are certain locations that we don't go to, strictly because, again, I'm sorry to say that the satanic stuff and dark stuff goes on. So I don't want to take my guests that far down in the woods.
Right.
But we use equipment. We do EVP sessions, and we go out into this big field where lots of elementals are said to be. And, so I try to make it very, very personal. I tell the history, and I tell them of different hotspot paranormal places of where we've experienced things and encountered things. But it's a fun tour. I love talking to people. Not when they get scratched and stuff like that, because that is something that I try to warn everybody about before we go down into the woods. I've literally had people throw up on the tour before because they're affected. They're just affected. So even though it's a fun tour, it's kind of a scary tour.
Right.
Have you ever thought about having a police escort when you do your tours so that you're safer?
Yes, ma'am. And because, I had mentioned this to Chris, at one time, the police had asked me not to do tours because the location had gotten so notorious for satanic worship. And you know what, guys, even as recent as last year, there was a body found in the parking lot. Just again, the missing persons and all of this, it just got a little hairy down there for a little while.
I was going to mention that from the research and the videos that I've watched doing the research on this bridge, there has been a lot of just people disappearing.
Yes.
Like, is it, do you think people are just going to the bridge, kind of like that kid did and just shot himself, or just jumping off the bridge into the river, or just getting swept down the river.
This bridge is so famous or known for its dark history, and it's a dark location. And the more you feed that, the bigger it gets, right?
Absolutely.
It's like it's kind of like feeding your pet when they're puppies, and you feed it more and more, and they get bigger. The same thing here. All of this negative energy just grows and manifests. And so I think if you are suffering, or maybe just not at your best for whatever reason, and you're anywhere near this location, you're going to get sucked in. And so I do think a lot of people go missing. I think that a lot of people, just my opinion, no proof, no insight here. I think there's probably a lot of bodies in the bottom of the creek that we don't know about.
Yeah.
You think more of like a human sacrifice type of thing, or during rituals, or
no, maybe not so much. That is more of suicide.
Oh, okay. Because you said there
jumping
was
in and drowning.
Yeah. Now, is there a big river under the bridge, or is it more of a creek, or?
I would say a creek, but it's a good, wide, deep creek. And again, it gets very stagnant. But when it rains, it's really rushing with water. So because of the woods and stuff around it, the creek just rolls with sticks and twigs and trees. So you got these kids that are going down and thinking how fun this is. Let's jump off the bridge into the water. And oh my gosh, if they had any idea what's below them. And of course, there have been some kids jump off the bridge that didn't come back up. And there's documentation to back all of this up. And it's just a really dangerous place.
Yeah.
Not during your tours and everything, because I know how we were when we went on our ghost tour. Sorry, Liz. But we honestly did the ghost tour to find out where the haunted places were in Bradenton.
Yeah.
So, like, people that go out there and like, I can't find a haunted place in Texas. Let's go on a ghost tour and find out where all the haunted places are. Do you make it clear that you shouldn't be out here by yourself doing
100%. 100%. I get emails, I would say at least once a week, especially now because it's getting to be close to summer. So people are planning their haunted road trips and this, that.
Right.
And so they're reaching out about, hey, do you do a tour? And that's one thing, y'all. I don't do tours in the summertime. This, not only with the dark history, not only with everything that goes along with the location, there are deadly snakes. Like, I'm a country girl and I have never seen so many copperheads, water moccasins in my life at a location. So in the summertime, it is just too dangerous. I counted 10 copperheads. That is not exaggerated. One night on a tour, so many that I canceled. Like, y'all, we can't go another step because this is just too dangerous. So I don't do tours in the summer, but I do get a lot of inquiries. Hey, it's just me and so, or hey, I'm on a road trip by myself. And I try to be honest. Look, is it cool? Absolutely, it's a cool place. Go in the daytime where you can see where you're stepping. But by all means, have up your guard, not only for the spirits and the dark stuff that happens, but for others. But most definitely, please, any of your listeners, don't go alone to this bridge. Absolutely not.
Honestly, the nature is one of the last things that I thought about when going on this. But yeah, you got a point, seeing how it's all overgrown, it's all in nature.
Yes.
Not only do you have to watch out for the spirits, you have to watch out for wildlife, but you also probably have to watch out for anyone traveling through the woods, living in the woods, living under the bridge, living around the bridge, who might be homeless, who might have property around the area, and they're not keen on guests.
No, you're absolutely right, Sarah. I mean, I have seen a couple of homeless people down there. Quite honestly, I think if there was a homeless person that tried to spend the night there, it probably didn't take them long to figure out this was not the place to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
do you think the evil that's there? Because I know, like, movies and all this stuff growing up, when it comes with demonic, it comes with the spiders and the flies and the snakes. And
Right.
do
All the
you think
creepy stuff.
do you think it's that area is attracted because of the evil? That's why there's so many snakes, or then it's just because it's overgrown and
A little of both. Again, when I tell you guys I'm a country girl, I grew up in the country. I'm aware of snakes. I know
yeah,
that a copperhead. A lot of people don't know that they emit a smell, and it
they
smells
do.
like sewage. But that's
Yeah,
a warning, right? It's a warning. And
That's their mask.
I grew up in the woods, playing in the woods every day, and never in my life have I been to a location that has so many snakes. I think this has a lot to do with the demonic and the summoning of evil entities to the location.
right.
Because what is one of the things the devil is associated with? Serpents.
Yeah,
And so I think it definitely has something to do with there being so many deadly snakes along with nature.
right.
So
Now, had you going through the tour with all these people, like, you're in charge of them. I couldn't even imagine, like, walking through the woods and walking into, like, somebody doing a ritual and, like, cloaks and all this. I what do the police come out and, like, look at the area and, like, patrol it, or is it kind of just on
okay.
your free will?
I'm trying to think if I can tell you a story that I know. All right, so here we go, guys. If this is
Viewer discretion.
Heed our warning.
heed the warning, because this is a big one.
Ooh.
I had gone to Kansas City one weekend to do a ghost hunt. And in the meantime, there was a young man who had reached out to me to do a podcast. And I couldn't do it with him because I was ghost hunting, right? But he
Right.
came down to Goatman's Bridge.
Oh.
And he said, when I get to the bridge, can I FaceTime you and do a little video chat? And I said, of course, let's do that. So he called me and he said, what is going on at the bridge? And I said, I don't know. What are you talking about? And he goes, oh my God, there's got to be like 500 people here. And I'm thinking he's exaggerating, right? And I'm like, what do you mean 500 people? And he said, I'm telling you, there's 500 people here, and they're on the bridge with this loud satanic music, and they're chanting F Goatman. And I said, are you kidding? Because y'all, when you get a gathering of that magnitude,
Yeah.
there's got to be somebody that knows. And y'all, I feel like I know what goes on at that bridge, and I have not heard anything about this. So the guy said, and this kid was a black, an African American young boy. And he said, do you want to see what I'm talking about? So he turns his phone around, and it was just a sea of these, I'm just going to use the word weird looking people. And he's freaking out. He's like, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? And I'm like, I'm telling you, get in your car and get the hell out. I don't
Yeah.
know who these people are. I don't know what they're doing, but I know this is not good.
Mm-mm.
And so he's still not really heeding the warning. So he goes, I'm going to go ask somebody. And I'm just begging him because he's got me on his old FaceTime thing. I'm like, please, get in your car and get out. But he doesn't. He walks up to this guy that's chanting, F Goat Man, F Goat Man. And y'all, the music is just like hard rock kind of music, if you know what
Yeah.
Just headbanger kind of stuff.
My music.
Oh, is that what you listen to? Okay. Okay, that kind of music.
Yeah.
But he asked this guy standing there. He's like, "Man, what is going on? What is this about?" And the guy looks at him and says, "Release your inner demons. Let them go." And the kid, now he's scared, right? That was what he needed. But as he's walking back to his car, I see the police standing there. And y'all, it just verifies that whatever this massive group of people were, they were too fearful to interact and try to shut it down. You know what
Wow.
I mean?
Yeah.
I guess they're just standing around making sure that nobody's injured or anything like that. But
Right.
this had to be some of that underworld internet kind of stuff that nobody knows about. I did a search the very next day on everything possible to find out what the hell went on because I saw it live from this kid's phone.
Right.
There wasn't a mention of what's going on. You've got cars driving past this bridge, you've got people that live in the area, and nobody posted about it. Nobody made mention of this. Absolutely no way in hell. Not in today's world. So
Yeah.
this is some of that dark stuff that happens, but stuff like that is what I'm saying. Is like you have to be careful. You just don't know what you're up against, right?
Right. And like we were talking before for the people that we don't speak of on this podcast.
Okay.
You were telling the certain somebody not to do what they were doing because from what you said he had no clue what he was doing.
No, none. He was
And
they
go ahead.
kept saying this isn't a ritual, and I call BS on that. When you're sitting in a circle and a pentagram and
100% a
yeah,
ritual. Yeah.
1,000%. And
Yeah.
you're reading all of this ancestral kind of stuff from the bill of your cap.
Yeah.
I'm begging, not here, not at this location where too many doors are open, there's too much demonic, too much satanic worship. Please, not here. You guys are going to open this thing and get back in your big fancy bus and go back to Nevada, and we're left with whatever you did.
Yeah.
It was not good.
And you said that something did come from that.
Yes. Again, I think after the episode aired, it attracted a lot of people that don't really care. Like Chris, you said earlier, they don't care about paranormal. They don't care about ghost hunting. They're
Right.
there to do rituals. Hey,
Right.
can we do this? This person did this. This has got to be a cool place to do that. And it just seemed like after they left, more and more evidence of people coming and doing different summonsing and this sort of stuff just happened all the time.
Wow. Do you have any questions about the bridge?
You said that there was a town around it, right?
Alton?
Yep. Yeah. Do you think that area, because you said that it's not really a town anymore, do you think that area is haunted, or do you think it's just the bridge, or do you think from what people have been doing it's spread out like a bubble?
I do think there's a lot of spirits from that town that we interact with. There's a family named the Daltrys. They were they had a store that they made vases and bowls and plates from clay, and that this is what they sold to the townspeople was this clay, dishes per se.
Right.
And I encountered them a lot in the woods. And Mrs. Daltrey was very big on baking. Like if you're in the woods and you're talking to them, um, you know, you're going to smell maybe fresh baked bread, apple pie. Just think way back in the early 1800s, early 1900s, what they would have been cooking. And it's so crazy because you'll just suddenly smell fried chicken. No, there's no fried chicken in the woods. Like KFC's not down the street. Like, yeah. So I do believe there is definitely some interaction with the townspeople.
Can you still see like remnants of where the houses were built, or no?
No,
She
it's
said
all just
no.
washed away.
Yeah. Now, I had a question and I just went blank. Now, do you have? You said you don't do it during the summer. What season do you do it in? Around Halloween or fall, or?
I do it around Halloween in the fall and a little bit in the spring, but the snakes start coming out of hibernation. So I try to not go so deep down it, like I used to do 2 tours. One was early from 7 to 9, and then I did a late tour from 10 till midnight. So I don't do the 10 till midnight anymore because here's just a little tidbit. When it starts getting cool, that's when the snakes come out, right? So in the heat of the day, they're trying to find the cool places under leaves, but when the night falls, they're more active. They move around more. So I don't do the late tours. But yeah, I love winter tours because I know they're in hibernation.
Yeah,
and
right.
and y'all, it sucks to be a tour guide and be deathly afraid of snakes. I'm trying to be brave and I'm scared to death. I always tell my groups, look, if I see a snake or get close, I'm going to scream like a little girl, and you can all have your money back because it's the end of the tour. I can't take it anymore.
I don't like snakes. I grew up in a place called Copperhead Valley, and
oh my gosh,
yeah, they had a whole season of hunting snakes for the whole, like, it was a tiny little trailer park in a valley, and I was down at the bottom of it where all the snakes came in.
Girl, hell double no on that.
In the middle of the woods, on the bottom of a mountain.
Oh my God.
They had a whole season of the guys going out and hunting snakes throughout the whole little valley.
What kind of snakes?
Copperheads. That's why it was
you said Copperhead Valley. Yeah, sorry.
Copperhead Valley. They had water moccasins. They had cottonmouths. Anything you can think of out in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I don't mind. I'll carry a machete with me.
I was gonna say I grew up in Florida. We got snakes and gators and oh my, like anything you can think of.
The only thing I'm scared of is power going out.
Yeah,
yeah. You guys have gators. We don't have gators here.
I'm more afraid of the iguanas than I am of the gators.
Yeah, the gators are just.
Those things are creepy looking.
They're just oversized swamp puppies.
Yeah.
Whatever.
An iguana will whip you with its tail and bite you. Yeah. And I've had to whack one off of my kayak because it tried to come for a ride with me while I was
no.
But now we have to. Now the new one's monkeys.
Yeah, monkeys
got out.
Monkeys are coming to Florida.
Yeah.
There's monkeys all down in Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
And they're down
like
in the
they're real monkeys?
Yeah, real monkeys, yeah.
And they're aggressive too. Like they're going around like biting people and scratching people and stealing their food.
But back to the bridge.
Back to the bridge.
Getting off track.
Monkeys in Florida.
So anybody that's watching on the podcast right now, we have what is called the question of the week.
That's the question.
All right, anyways. She's never done that before the whole 2 seasons, 2 years that we've done this.
I love it.
I don't know why that came out, but we're gonna go with it.
Go with it. That was good, Sarah.
Thanks.
So how we do it is we're gonna play it. We're gonna answer. I guess Sarah's pressing the button. We're going to answer it. Anybody in the comments, let us know what you think of this, and then we'll ask you, Beck.
Okay.
Here's the question of the week. Do you believe the activity the Goatman hanging caused the activity on the bridge?
You want me to answer first?
Yeah.
Go for it.
It's specific for you, so yeah.
Oh, I thought it was for your listeners.
It's for everybody.
Everybody can answer.
Yeah.
Hell yes, I do. That's my answer to that question, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Do you, go ahead.
It's a dark piece. It's a dark piece of history. And again, dark attracts dark, right? It's so yeah, I definitely think it may not be everything, because again, you know, I do believe there's some residual energies, and I do believe there's some good spirits from the town, but most definitely do I think that it plays a part in the paranormal stuff that goes on. You betcha.
Right. Now, I guess I have a question with the question. I'll answer my thing. But do you think that area was more evil and had stuff in the land before the hanging? Or is it more just the evil of the Klan, and he was an African American type of evil?
You know, the land itself has a lot of Native American history to it. Believe it or not, in Texas, you know, there was lots of wars between, you know, the settlers and the Indians.
Right.
I not that that's evil, right? I don't know that that's evil. That's just part of history again.
Right.
I think where the darkness comes is definitely to do with the activity that came later with Oscar and the Klan and this sort of stuff. I don't know that the land itself has caused the evilness. I think it's the people that's come to the land.
God, yeah. That's pretty much my answer. It was not more of like an elemental demon type thing. Because honestly, if Oscar and the Goatman and all this never even happened, it'd just be a random bridge in the woods like every other one.
Yeah, that was
exactly.
You know,
what happened there was basically the start of opening.
Right.
Yeah.
People want to go and do these rituals and everything because they know the evil that happened on that bridge.
Exactly.
Are they trying to open that evil again? Are they trying to summon, like you said, Steve, you know, other Klan members of people chanting F Goatman?
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Which, out of all this, Oscar's the victim.
Yeah.
100%.
It should have never been that way ever.
Yeah. And Chris, can I just make something clear about Oscar? Thank you for bringing that up. I do not believe Oscar Washburn is the Goatman. I think he was an actual living, breathing person at one time, actually a very gentle soul. When I communicate with Oscar, he's happy. He's very, you know, he really likes to interact with people. The Goatman, I do believe, is a sayer, which has been summoned because of the history of the bridge with Oscar and the goats. So I do believe they are two completely different things and people, not the same as one. A lot of people say, oh, it's Oscar, he's the Goatman. No, I just want the truth to be known on that. This is, again, my opinion. No way. Oscar that I know and communicate with is not the same Goatman. It's two different things.
Well, I'm glad that we got that figured out. Yeah. I was gonna be. That was my question, and I forgot what it
sorry.
was. You answered my question without knowing.
Great minds think alike, right?
Yeah.
But I'll give it a couple more minutes if anybody wants to put their thing in for the comments. If not, if you're watching this later on, put comments down or put your comment or thoughts down in there. Comments.
Yeah.
And also, if you're on YouTube, we have a link on our comments for the Goatman's Bridge for Becky's book, which I really want now.
I'll send you a copy.
Are you going to read it?
I will.
I will.
Y'all, you need to, because I have a lot of photos in the book that I've actually taken out there of different things that we've encountered. So it has, even though that sounds crazy, kind of, I'd love to show the pictures of what we caught. But I'm going to send you guys a copy. And And all your listeners, put it on Amazon.
Yes, which the link is right below, right down there.
Right down there.
Yeah, right. But I want to greatly appreciate you coming on again, Becky. It's so nice talking to you again.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome. And
I know you've been
congratulations
wanting to talk
on your
about this for a
platform.
while.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been working really hard on this.
You're going to be a part of it.
And
Yay.
she's always been part of it.
I mean, part of the streaming platform.
Oh.
The new streaming.
I was going to say, she's already Underworld family.
Oh. I
But-
feel like I'm part of the family.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Is there anything that you would like to promote about the bridge or tours or anything?
You guys,
Before we
I will
go?
be doing a couple of tours before the summer. If anybody's in the Texas area, please, you're scrolling it. Reach out to me. You can find me also under Becky Vickers. Reach out about the tours and let's go check it out together.
I know when we come and see the Bolton house, we need to go take a little trip down to the bridge.
I
We
can't
need
wait.
to go
We're just going to do a
paranormal
double decker on that.
Yes. Yeah, let's go.
That'll
I'm
work.
down.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna get to. I'll hitchhike to get to the bridge. I don't know. We'll get
I'll
the
get
Texas
you there.
map. Yeah,
We'll
right.
figure it out one day.
But I hope you have a great evening. Thank you so much for coming
Y'all,
on again.
thank you again for having me. Much
Absolutely.
love to you guys.
All of our guests for coming and joining us.
Are you gonna get it right this week?
No.
No. No.
No.
What? How did we close the show, Sarah?
By messing up.
How did we do it?
I'm not gonna do it.
No. And remember, always stay creepy, friends. These people. See you guys.
We'll
Bye.
see you again soon.